what makes this Omega Dragon. I'm actually able to do an intro this time. Welcome back for the... Of course it freezes dead. You've gotta be kidding me. It freezes after the first part of my recording after a long time on this game, and it decides to freeze now. Welcome back for some more Super Paper Mario. Last time we went through the, I don't know what it's called. Something that it starts with an E. I want to say exclude, but that's not the right word. Epilogue of Chapter 2. And we saw that Luigi was captured by the minions of Count Bleck that were usually Bowser's and Nastasia that hypnotized him. Which I would wonder what that means. And yeah, it's not a spoiler that she hypnotized him, because it was shown that she managed to succeed on the hypnosis. If you think it's a spoiler, then I'm sorry, that means you haven't watched the last video. In this video, we go right on into Chapter 3, where you'll see the reason of why I turned off my sensor bar. Mario and his new friends opened the door, unsure of what they would find. All the while, Merle's words about finding the other two heroes rang in their minds. Where are those? Oh gosh darn it. Where are these other heroes? Somewhere in this new world? If not, where? Meanwhile, the creeping void grew larger in the skies above Flipside. The hopes of all worlds rested on the heroes finding the next pure heart. Chapter 3-1. When geeks attack, and one of the cooler nostalgic sections of the game. Guess it's a reminder of the first Mario game, not really, that was ever made. The first 2D Mario adventure game, I should say. Because it was an adventure game, not some sort of arcade game. Come on! Stop freezing! I don't want this to freaking freeze during the second part of this freaking recording. But it's gonna freaking freeze every time. So this is where that door leads. I suppose the next pure heart must be nearby. That's odd. I can feel it nearby, but where could it be? Well, I'm ah! This is why. Hi, Technical! I caught a super rare pixelated butterfly! My friends at Digibutter.ner are going to flick when they get word of this find! I must bring it home. I can't miss this week's episode of the Grotus Chronicles. No way am I going to entrust my digital record of Meow to type an episode so epic! This is so high technical! It's gonna freeze a bunch and I'm gonna be annoyed with it. Every time I'm gonna scream. It always happens. Whoa ho ho! A kidnapping! Oh, the despair! The awful spectacle of it all! The shocking scene occurred right before my very own tender eyes! Well, I guess that's a wrap for that pixel. Now that freak Francis has got her. This is a pixel inside this bush! Come on! I'm gonna disconnect and reconnect the freaking thing! Ugh! It's so freaking annoying! I'm definitely sure it's the capture, not the computer. Whoa-ho! Who's this guy? A friend of the butterfly girl that got nabbed? Well, that's a pity. Gosh darn, I should have done this as Peach. But I think she would have just nodded there. That geek that grabbed her, Francis. Basically the nerd to end all nerds. Plus, he's got this thing for butterflies, and, well, all things nerdy too. If he got his sweaty mitts on something like he likes, there's no getting it back. He collects stuff and keeps it in his big fantasy fortress. It's like geek paradise. If you don't want to see this, skip by like 2 minutes, because this is going to show off all that has to be done with Chapter 3. It's the only chapter that has this. Well now, you want to know where Fort Francis is? Well, if you go all the way down the head for miles and miles, you'll find it. You're not thinking of infiltrating a nerd lair and rescuing her, are you? Look, nobody likes having their butterfly kidnapped by a geek, but it's dangerous. Still set on it, ye? What a tender moment. I think I got something in my eye here. Listen, let me give you some travel tips. Here's where you should skip it. You listening? Good. All I got for you is 3 critical tips, so remember all of them. Here's your first tip. A bunch of no-class jerks are holed up in this castle up ahead. It ain't gonna be easy getting past them, but here's the juice. It's an old castle. You do your thing with that red X mark, and maybe something will happen for you. Now for my second tip. If you somehow I've not talked to Barry when I was younger, so I was confused on all of this, by the way. I had no idea that I was supposed to talk to Barry about the tips and tricks of Chapter 3. It would have helped a lot if I knew about that, because I thought the book, because I talked to Barry, but yet I still didn't know what I was doing. Sorry, it's always brought up. If you somehow pass those clowns in the castle, you'll see an ocean. Can't miss it. A scary sea monster lives there. The beast is huge and cranky. But if you toast its red flipper thing, something good is bound to happen. And here's the last tip. Once you swim your way through the ocean, you'll see a humongous tree. There's a huge gorge on the other side. There's no jumping across it. Look for this red wind and do something with it. Then you can get across. Get all of that? Good. You be careful now. If by some crazy chance you do save her, come back and tell me how you did it. That's the deal with this chapter. Red, red, red. With a bunch of green, but minor red. These guys are still Koopas and this guy's still a piranha plant. Nothing to point at. We're not going up here yet. You'll see what I mean when I get there. And there is for a reason I will tell you. I don't want to go here yet because there's something hilarious as a result for... And yeah, red pipes. There's a hilarious thing for a result for what happens if you play this as a certain character that you probably shouldn't know about yet. And yes, that's a new enemy. But just know that the character is very beefy and strong. This is a piranha plant card. I think I already got this card. But this thing over here, the gray cursia that you can see, do not touch it. It's a curse if you do, because it's worse than a cursia. Instead, if you touch it, you go all the way back to Flipside Tower. Which, here's the thing. You can return to Flipside. I've never done this. I'm actually going to do it now. The reason why? I wanted to talk to Merlin without Tippy. And that will be an interesting thing. Because I don't know what happens. I've never talked to Merlin without Tippy before. So I wonder what he will say. I've never done this. I don't even know if anybody has. But I'm still gonna do it because I'm curious about what he will say. Since he is the main helper of the game. What? Tippy was kidnapped? What's going on out there? You must find her, first and foremost. Surprisingly, not what I expected, but not very disappointing either. I thought he was gonna be like, oh, where's Tippy? But instead he was like shouting a bunch. Not what I expected at all. I'm gonna come back to where I was. Reason, well, I'm not gonna cut. The reason why I recommend you going up there, But the reason I'm not is because I want to go up there after I'm finished with the chapter. Or just do it after chapter 4. Yes, I said it. Chapter 4 is the chapter of what is the reason why I don't want to level up. But I didn't spoil what. I didn't spoil why exactly. But I will say it has one of my most favorite bosses in the game that I would recommend you not leveling up in. And yes, you can hop on these. They reference different sculptures. Now this time, I'm able to go in this area. I only jumped on those sculptures again just because I wanted to avoid that gray thing that I'm not going to be able to point at until I rescue Tippy. This chest involves something interesting. It's a Thunder Rage, which I don't think that it makes anything when you cook it. I think it just turns into a mistake. Now, this is the only time where I'm going to actually level up during this, because I'm level 5 right now, and this is gonna guaranteeingly give me a level up. I'm going to wait until 12 of them appear. I know that the maximum is probably like 15, but I'm waiting until 12 of them appears. Then when they appear, I'm going to use the Thunder Rage on them. See if it works. I think they have 6 HP in all. What was my attack again? Because I think my attack was like 3. This is why I want to keep it. Yep. It's either 3 or 4 that I want to keep it on. Ice Storm. A new item that freezes enemies. And when cooked, it turns into something that you would want to have on a summer day. Will I spoil it? The answer is no! If I'm remembering, I think the Ice Storm requires pointing at something. Nope, it's another shake up and down. Magic Koopas, I think, have 4 HP or 6 HP. And their attack is like 2. Might be wrong on that. I will be pointing at them when I get there. Goombas, I know for sure, has 2 HP and their attack is 2. Not gonna jump on them though. You already know why, and I'm not gonna take these pal pills either to ruin the fun on that. Yeah. You're so annoying. Stop! I am in the middle of something. Sorry. This is actually pretty funny. You can flip into 3D and it actually works very well for you if you do. But I highly recommend you not going up there yet, because there is something for you, something in it for you if you manage to go in the pipe in the middle, since you can see that the pipe wouldn't be there. There's also coins over there, and if you go in this pipe, it brings you to a bonus room where there are question mark blocks, but with these flip blocks. One of them has a mushroom in it, I'm pretty sure. Yep, a super shroom. Much preferred. I'm gonna try my best not to go in every coin room, because I wanna save that for post-game. For when I absolutely need it. And this Koopa is the only one hypnotized by Count Black out of any of them. Crap, that was a normal shroom. Did not know that. Now this pipe leads to the original outside, but there's a reference from Super Mario Bros. That if you go up here, there are 3 pipes. It's like the warp zone. Now here's what I don't remember. Is the left one the one that leads to that bonus room, or is that gonna lead outside? It's gonna lead outside. There was one room that led to the outside. I just didn't remember which one. It wasn't the left one. I don't know if it's the right one. But there is definitely one of them that leads to the outside place. Going back here, I think it's the middle one. The right one leads somewhere else. I hope I'm right, because if I'm not, I'm gonna have to restart that. Nope, I'm wrong. Gosh darn it. Well, I'm gonna show you guys what the right pipe led to, because I didn't remember that. Now this is fun. I'm going to actually do this on purpose. These are Koopa Strikers. They are pretty fun enemies. Crap. Because of that attack. They can actually beat each other up. It's so funny. I think they have like, I want to say 10 HP. Ah. Oh dear. I just want them to beat each other up. I love how his eyebrows are like, ah, I missed! Ah! Oh man, I love when that happens. Oh, he beat it. I don't think I've ever seen that. That is so funny. Ow! Now here's something that you will be surprised with. Even if you switch to Peach, it doesn't matter in one of the segments right there. Spoiled it!